Welcome back to another edition of Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex Fortyfive. In the building tonight, we got the crew. Very excited because World Superbike MotoGP is going to be starting in the next few weeks. Even getting our bikes ready for regular club racing and license renewal for club racing and stuff like that. And whatever, if you ever get an engine swap, like some people I know. So we're going to talk to Rowan about Cheetah about that and the gang. But let's bring on Cheetah in first, and let's do that going thing. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Mr. Rex, doing phenomenal, man. How are you?
Pretty good. It's a little warm down in Florida, believe it or not. It was 80 degrees. I think I saw 80 degrees on the thermostat on the bike earlier. I'm not complaining. It was very nice, man. How are things in Atlanta?
It was cold, man. Last couple of days. Hopefully it warms back up because we're missing that warm weather. But lots to talk about, man. I'm excited about this week. It's getting closer, so I'm excited.
Yeah, nice. Likewise, man. I assume you're also ready for racing as well and some track days.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Man, we're definitely going to touch all that tonight. Jordan, man, what's going on, man? How you doing this evening?
My brother, loving life. I'm kind of jealous of you in the 70s and 80s down there in nice old Florida. I'm here in Atlanta, eastern Atlanta, dealing with the weather, the cold weather, the rain for the past 3 days. I'm waiting for Toto to come through and sweep me away from Kansas.
Man, listen, man, be careful using the word nice in Florida. I don't think too many people say Florida and nice, but we definitely love the heat. And it's one of the best places to ride motorcycles. I could say that much because
I agree.
South of like Tampa and the places that it snows and stuff like that. Man, you must be ready for MotoAmerica as well. There's big news. Some of these guys that were on BMWs last year jumping on Suzuki's this year.
Yep.
We'll talk all about that, man. Hang tight. Let's get into one and only Mr. Bobby Shakes. Shakes in the building. Vampire. Cheers, Vampire.
No. Whatchamacallit calls me a vampire. What's his name? Real quick. So, Crop's manager came up to me. He's like, what's your deal? I said, well, 30 years ago, I invented either the second or third reggae website in the world.
Right.
He goes, how old are you? I go, I'm 50. He goes,
you told her about the Suzuki?
Yeah, right? The sidekick? And then Kraft turned to his manager and go, you're a vampire. That's my new nickname. Kraft called me vampire. So in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Once you get a nickname, that's it.
Now you got more than one because Bobby Shakes.
That's the nickname.
Although some people may think that's your government. There's a story behind that. One day you might tell the folks.
One day I might tell it.
Let's bring the gang in, man. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. Man, I am excited. What is it? The sidekick? I'm excited, man, about this week because it's one after this weekend. We got motorcycle racing on the world stage, for lack of a better word. So we're going to kick it off with World Superbike. And as we were talking, Jordan off air, let's start with you, Cheetah. When you think about these guys that are on the Kawasaki's, the bimotors and the regular Kawasaki, the Honda guys, you think they stand a chance in World Superbike this year? I know last year at the end of the season, Ika Lukaona was able to put the Honda on the podium. In testing, it seems like the Kawasaki's look nice. I don't want to say I'm Team Ducati, but I'm pretty much Team Ducati. And I feel like they're going to take it all, but you never know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close, probably going to be the closest of all three racing we watch as far as motorcycle racing. It's going to be close with all those competitors. I'm really excited to see, and I don't know who, because they've got a lot of new pieces on some of those bikes, right?
Yeah, definitely. You got Scott Redden, paid by BMW, riding a Ducati. That's the best way to be.
Yeah.
That's long money.
Y'all letting the secret out the bag, boy. Y'all letting it out, all out.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I don't know how Scott Redding was able to finagle that. I know Noni was trying to get Go 11 to give him more money and stuff like that. So, what are your thoughts, Jordan? I mean, do you think these the Kawis and the Honda guys, they're going to stand a chance against BMW and Ducati?
Dude, they're fighting for their life. They're not fighting for just a championship. They're fighting for their life. I mean, they've got not just a stacked, semi-stacked and stacked team, you know, Garrett Gerloff and the rest of those guys over there. I mean, Bimoto's got a decent team that they're pretty much just lining up with some talent. But on top of that, you know, just a Bimoto team we talked about with Alex Lowe's and Axel Bassani. I mean, they've got experience. They've got a little bit of youth on their side. So, I mean, that's a not say a win-win category, but if they can work together and do a 1-2, I guess a 1-2 punch, a jab and a hook, then, you know, dude, that's going to be major to the championship. And then, like I said, we talked about even with Scott Redding on his BMW, he's been able to put pressure when needed at times.
Right.
Maybe not be able to do it all the time, but he's been able to sneak a couple little jabs here and there and be like, hey, don't forget I'm here. Don't forget, hey, oh, you forgot about me? Bow. And next thing you know, he's got to win. He's only been able to do that twice in his whole career. So, I mean, he's someone to watch out for. And then I wanted to talk real quick about, the Honda team with Terran McKenzie. A lot of people don't think that he is a force to be reckoned with. He's not a BSB champion, a super sport champion for no reason. He's got the skills. He's got to put it all together and definitely work with his package, because I know he likes to override the bike sometime, most of that front tire. And if he gets just a little bit of knowledge underneath him and then, go with Guinness, let's say, I'm just throwing names out right about now, who's been riding really good with the Honda. And then next thing you know, he's back on the podium again with the Superbike.
Did you mention Gillum?
Like Hayden Gillum?
Yeah, that's who you mentioned?
No, I didn't say Hayden Gillum. I said Scott Redding.
No, the last person. You said like some Gillum or...
I think you're hearing stuff.
I like it. My bad. All right, cool. Because I was like, who's in?
I mean, we could talk about Hayden Gillum because he did have the number one plate on a heavyweight on a big bike, on the biggest bike there is to race. He did win that. So we can talk about Hayden Gillum.
What do y'all think about Batten Sofoglu? You know, Keenan's brother. I didn't know he was Keenan.
Oh no, they're not brothers. They're not brothers or cousins. And
they're cousins. They're not brothers. He's like a niece's nephew, next door's cousin who came up third removed. Oh, but he's definitely part of the Sofoglu family.
Right.
So he's going to get trained by Keenan and Top Rock.
Here it is.
Yeah. He already is. Shakes, I mean, what are your thoughts on these teams? I know you're more following the Harley and the Indian races and stuff like that. So, here in Honda and Kawasaki, I'm not quite sure what color you're going to change your background to.
Well, hold on a second here. Let's change the background if I have anything to say.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. There we go.
Let's change it to green.
We like the money green. Yeah, we like money green.
Cowie green, huh?
Go Garrett.
Here's the thing. What is the problem with the Ducati? We didn't know how to ride it.
Nothing.
What's the problem with the BMW? We didn't know how to ride it. Too much power. They've got the bike dialed in. Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha. It's over. But green is a really cool color, and spring is coming. That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right.
I love the run, right? But it's going to get crazy.
Right.
BMW and Ducati, it's going to be like, it's too much.
Right. We don't know. We'll see. Right. That's why we're having this conversation right now, because last year Alex Lowe was on the Kawasaki And before Top Rock got up to speed, he was able to get on the podium. Unfortunately, Annoni was hungry for a podium after so many years. Petrucci, I think, still wants to show that he probably should be eyeing a factory seat and stuff like that. But Jordan, you mentioned Redden and his struggles, right? Because really, Redden probably should have been the guy that won the title on Ducati, and for whatever reason, things went south with them. And it seems like it's been sabotage after sabotage after sabotage, right? And I don't know if the son is able to come home in a sense where he's on a Ducati but getting paid by BMW. I mean, is that a recipe for success?
That's a really good question. You would think that Redding on a beautiful red Ducati, battling with the top five, even Petrucci and Annoni, and just be able to be like, dude, I am BSB World Superbike champion. Get out my freaking way.
Right.
And next thing you know, it's kind of like, dude, he's got mechanical gremlins, tire issues. Pressure was off. He's off time. And it's kind of like, dude, what happened? It's like, you were right there 2 laps ago. Now you're back in 9th. And I mean, to be back in 9th in BSB or World Superbike, all you got to be is a 10th off, period. Right. That's it. So you just be a smidgen off, you're back in 9th. So I'm like, you have to be really, really on point. And I don't know what he did or what he was doing to put himself in that situation to where he was right there. He had it in his grasp. 3 laps later, he's mid-pack.
Right. Well, he did crash a lot and had tire issues and stuff like that. Cheetah, I mean, do you think that, Redden's gotten one too many chances? And when you look at Gerloff, who he seems to always progressively get better every year. When he was on the BMW, even before I believe he was on the Yamaha at first, and now he's on Kawi. Out of those 2 guys, Cheetah, I mean, do you think that Gerloff should get more chances and have a better shot than Redden on the Kawi, or you think that Redden will struggle? Because I can't imagine BMW is going to pay for all the best mechanics, all the best engineer, all the best everything for them to go work on a Ducati. I can't imagine that BMW is going to do that.
So you're talking about the team is Bonneville or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they switched brands, right? Is it BMW funded still?
It's still, BMW's paying his contract.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. So I believe they're helping out with the team as well, not just paying them.
The question is, you think should Gerloff get more? I think Gerloff should. I think Gerloff is more deserving. I think. But Redding is also a competitor for that seat, I believe, and otherwise they wouldn't have let him do that, I think. I don't know. I mean, he's getting a shot on the Ducati this year, so we'll see if that was something he needed or could use. And, what do you guys think about Alvaro? Is he on his way out?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's got too much fight in him. Even when he lost it to no. I mean, even when he lost it over the Top Rack, he was kind of like, I'm getting it back. He's not really getting it back. I'm getting it. And then what did he do in that following year? I mean, it was close, but he fought back. Alvaro is a fighter.
Yeah, I know he signed a 1-year deal, so I assume he's gonna see how he feels midway through the year, kind of thing. And I think obviously, if he stays healthy, I think he's gonna try to win this year. If he wins this year, I think he'll be back next year. But if I think he doesn't win next year, and you got, as you say, Safagalu, was it the cousin there, and you got the other guy there, Yari Montella, who's on the Barney team right now. But Yari Montella was nice last year in Super Sports, so he could be eyeing a factory seat. And these guys are young. I think for Alvaro, he had, at his age, not to say he doesn't have the skill set, because I'm a lot older than him. I don't have the skill set either that he has. But I think for him, winning back to back, going to Honda probably gave him a bunch of money for them those couple of years and stuff like that in World Superbike. I think for him, if he's competitive, winning races or on the podium halfway through the season, I can probably see, and I think Ducati's loyal enough like that they'll. I think they're loyal enough because they gave Jack Miller a 1-year seat as well, but he didn't want a 1-year seat, so that's why he went to KTM. So I think Ducati's loyal in that sense that they will give you another seat, especially another chance, and especially if you got on the if you won 2 titles. Right. And you look at Anoni, what they're doing for Anoni. Right. I mean, I don't know what Anoni got on these guys because Ducati's like, yo, we got you.
Well, I'm just thinking like Bulliga is starting to prove himself. Right. So how much longer before he becomes the A player, and they essentially look for a new rookie. And I think it's a couple years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think this year, Alvaro has to beat Bulliga this year to retain the seat because you're right. I mean, like I said, those other guys that I mentioned, they're already in Superbike, so who knows, right? You know what I mean? They have to also perform well enough to say, hey, we deserve the factory seat. I mean, I think if they were in World Supersport still and finish in 1, 2, 3, I think that would have been an easier sell. But now they're on pretty much all the same bikes, I suspect. So it'll be interesting to see. What are your thoughts, Bobby Shakes over there? I mean, do you think that the older guys should get more chances as far as a contract?
Look at the wheels turning.
Older guys.
Alvaro's really the only one that's old.
I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite because I did go.
Tito's old too.
I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite, but no, I'm gonna be consistent. I have to be consistent because people's gonna go back and watch the previous shows. Yes, old guys get the money. Old guys get the seat.
Okay.
Because what I was gonna say, I can't say what I really want to say because then that would be inconsistent with what I've said previously in other shows. Right. So I have to be consistent.
All right. And to go back to what I initially was saying, I mean, I do think that like the Honda's got a chance. I do think that Ika Lukuona and Xavi has a shot. I mean, I can't speak for the satellite teams, but I think last year they were top 6, top 7 for the most part. They might have crashed out or they might have fell back, but they were running up front. And I think they have a shot. That doesn't mean they're going to beat BMW. Doesn't mean they're going to beat Ducati. I think it's going to be really hard. Honda have to make the best bikes for them to, and those guys got to make no mistakes.
I agree. I mentioned Terran before. He's like I said, he's on a satellite Honda to where he's got the skill. He's got the I would pretty much say he's got the package, but he's got to bring his A game every single week. No fault. Right.
And it's different riding from BSB to World Superbike too.
Correct.
They just mean over in BSB. They don't.
I don't know how they do that, man. That's just something else.
Like those BSB tracks, I don't know if anybody saw those BSB tracks. They are not say they're small, they're very narrow.
Yeah,
they're very narrow.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to what World Superbike is running. Like I said, that's why I said you really got to be on point. You can't give that much space and room if you're used to running on tight tracks. You can't, I got so much room to play with. No, you don't. Because they'll stuff it. They'll block you. Easy block pass. They'll bully you around quick, fast, in a hurry. And I know Terran last year found that out.
Yeah. No, it's pretty wild. What do you guys think about Anna Carrasco? She's going to be in Super Sport this year on a Honda factory team. I believe it's alongside. I'm forgetting the name. I got to look up who she's alongside. I want to say John McPhee, but I could be wrong. She won a world title in 300 Super Sport back in 2018.
Anna Carrasco is going to be teaming up with Carantino Perlauri.
Yeah.
On a Honda World Super Sport team. Honda Racing World Super Sport.
Yeah, on a factory team. I don't. Those Hondas got to, unless they have a new engine, it's going to be very, very difficult to run up again. Well, Yamaha is going to be running the R9s now, and I don't know if Ducati's running their old V2 or they're running a new V2. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know the specs on them.
but I think that might be a struggle. But the Yamaha, oh yeah, they're going to be on R9, so it'll be so Honda may have a shot. Might have a shot in World Superbike. I mean World Super Sport, but I don't know.
I know from last couple of years, I know I'm talking a lot right about now. It has really been a dog fight. I don't know if anybody been following that, but the Super Sport series for the past couple of years have always been a dog fight. If you're not running top 8, top 9, whoever's out front, if you don't grab a hold of them and hold on tight, you're going to get left.
Right.
What's his name? Who won last year's Super Sports series?
Yari Montella.
Montella. He not say he checked out, but if you look at most of the races, that's exactly what he did. He checked out, and then no one can catch him. And if anyone got a 10th up, he put another 10th in. Right. It was kind of like, dude, what are you running? It's like, are you putting super juice in your tank? You know, the secret sauce. What are you putting in the tank that you were just able to do that? And he looked smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth the whole time. Yeah. I'm like, dude, how do you do that? So,
Montella, Manzi was the only one that was really trying to run with him towards the end of the season, but by then it was too late. Yep. And he might have been saving points for the trophy and not worrying about taking risk on getting.
I think he was just trying to solidify second. That's all he was trying to do, solidify second. So I remember second and third was kind of tight. Mid season, and then closer to the end, it was a little bit of a gap. He's kind of like, no, I got to make sure I get second place.
Right. And anyone stands out besides Stefano Manzi? I mean, Oily Bayless did all right. I mean, he crashed out a few times last year. I mean, I think it's for Stefano Manzi to lose. I mean, he has the most experience, and he's been running up front for the last few years since he's gotten into Super Sport.
I'm going to put a name out for everybody to hopefully remember. Valentin Debise.
Yeah.
I mean... He's in it. He's in it. So I don't know. I know Valentin when he came over here in the States a couple years ago, and he gave some people a good little wallop. Mm-hmm. And when he went over to South Africa, ran out over there for a couple years, got a championship. So it's kind of like, dude, I want to see him back up front again and really make some waves. So Valentin, if you're watching, we're rooting for you, brother. We're rooting for you.
Right. So, I remember he came out to Barber and hit first lap out. He a 33 or something. First lap.
Yeah, first lap on fresh rubber. Cold tires.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Bayless or Marcel Schroeder? Or Canon Chu as well. He's on Yamaha this year versus the Kawi.
Lucas Mahini, Michael Rinaldi. Yeah, there's a couple of names out there.
No, Rinaldi has to be in. Did he get demoted?
I didn't see Rinaldi.
That's why.
Yeah, I didn't see Rinaldi on the Superbike list.
Yeah. Well, man.
Back of the bus.
that might be a ringer right there. Yamaha though, right? So with Lucas Myers, that might be interesting. Yeah, okay. World Super Sport might be a little bit fun to watch. I thought it was gonna be a little boring with a couple, but yeah, they got some names in there. And Bo Ben Schneider as well is in here from Moto2.
I forgot about Bo. Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be interesting next weekend.
I want to see that.
Yeah, definitely. So let's jump over to MotoGP, where all the talk is. They're in Thailand this weekend. It seems like some people are saying that the Ducatis are sandbagging it, and Cheetah. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it, but as we were looking into it, I just saw my man. Just makes me happy, man. It just makes me happy. I could put this on if I wanted. It just smiles. I knew what was going to happen. That man loves Thailand, so that's a unique one for him.
Right.
I always say when he goes to Thailand and Valencia, it's one of those where he shines. So it's not a true result of Marquez. I want to see him perform like that at other tracks. But it's got to be a big boost, especially the brothers, right? The first day, they're doing great. So I'm excited just to see where that goes.
Got you. And Jordan, I mean, is there any, talk have you heard where Pecco seems to be wanting to use the 24 chassis? And it seems like he is, if you listen to everything you hear, but it looks like he's happy that Marquez has a good feel as well and stuff like that. But he seems like he's kind of leaning on Marquez a little bit for feel or information.
If you got the reigning champion, runner-up, something like that, and you're trying to learn from the best, I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna watch you. Show me, teach me, let me learn just a little bit so I can beat you.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Bobby Shakes.
I'm done. I'm done.
He's done. I was thinking somebody has to be, and I have to go opposite here. That's why I changed my background to orange.
Okay. KTM.
Okay.
KTM is closing the gap. I would pick Aprilia, but I can never afford one. So I know a KTM is a little cheaper than I can afford. KTM, Aprilia, closing the gap on Ducati. I don't know if Ducati's not really running hot or they're hiding stuff or not putting full effort or just hot dogging it. But KTM, Aprilia, closing the gap on the Marquez, even though what did he set the fastest track time?
Fastest lap of the day.
Lap. Yeah. But he's still was it someone from KTM is still got the fastest lap. Was the fastest on the track, right? Was it KTM or Aprilia?
I don't know. It might have been the fastest speed, but they may have got a speed time.
I think it was the fastest sector, and I know there was a fastest trap time.
Yeah,
right.
It might have been that, but Bezzecchi finished third on the Aprilia, so that's good. Acosta finished fourth on the KTM, and Zarco Honda's number 5. Alex Marquez 6 and Pecco 7 and the top 8. So KTM, all the brands are up there except for the Yamaha.
So here's some number of comparisons for y'all with Marquez, right? So speaking of Marquez, he's on the 24 chassis. Sepang test in 2024, he ran a 158.244. That was probably on that Gresini Ducati, right?
Yeah.
With the 23 chassis, I would think.
Yep.
Sepang Sprint 2024, probably same bike. He ran a 157.8. In this test, he ran a 157.6. So he's just getting better and better and better. We're seeing that. And I think it's just going to get better from here. I'm really excited for that. The lap times that he ran there, he's already better, man. So it's really going to be exciting.
So do you guys think that Ducati's sandbagging already, or they're just testing and just being prepared?
Why would
what do you mean sandbagging?
Just
meaning not giving 100% testing. In a sense, like they're just holding back a little bit, pulling back on the throttle a little bit.
Oh no!
I mean, if you think of it, put it like this, Cheetah. I want you to think about this. They put the new arrows on, right? When they put the new arrows on, they just go just a tenth or two faster. When what that new arrow was coefficient like 1.2%, something like that. I remember seeing on one of the videos, they was just like, yo, this arrow that they have is streamlining this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, if you're not sandbagging and your coefficiency is dropping off the cliff, why would you not be going 3, 4, 5 miles an hour faster?
Do you think that's what they're doing with their arrow? Is that where they're sandbagging? I don't know.
World champion in front of me, I'm going to watch.
Yeah. Well, is it because he's on the 25 chassis? Is that what it is? The fairings
they
are
tested the 24. They was doing something with the 24, and I know they tested with the 25.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Marquez on 24. Pecco's on 25. So he's about to decide, I think, overnight is what they were saying in the article, if he's going to keep on that 25.
And I don't know if everybody noticed that. I was watching the videos for day one Sepang was where they had full colors, new bodywork with the arrows. Then they changed it up. New chassis, old fairings, old bodywork, and then they switched it up to the black ones that had the new ones. No colors. Sorry, I was a geek when I was watching all that stuff. I'm like, what are you running? What tires? What bodywork? Blah blah blah. So I was geeking out that whole time. So I noticed that they was testing a lot, but their times were not like astronomical, just a tenth here and there.
Right. So I mean, I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks if that's the case or not. I suspect the factory teams, though, they're usually testing and they're not going like they're trying to qualify. Yeah. Speaking of the colors and stuff like that, what do you guys think about the new liveries on the teams, Aprilia, all the teams? I mean, I don't know if you guys have paid any attention to any of them, and which team do you think has the best livery for 24? If I had to, I like Rossi's. I like the VR46. It's cool. It's interesting how they got the 46 behind their number plate and stuff like that.
I agree.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Rossi one, but I mean, looking at the other ones, they look pretty close. You know, speaking of, I mean, can we speak on a little bit of the body work? What's going on with KTM's body work? Is that the testing body work, or it looks crazy?
It does. It looks very interesting. I mean, as far as you're talking about the front wings, the rear wing.
I don't know if y'all are seeing what I'm seeing, but the Yamaha looks very nice. It almost looks like they're taking it back a step, making it look old school with the roundness of it.
Right.
The Pramac, what are they on again? The Aprilia, right?
Pramac.
That looks nice.
Pramac is on Ducati.
I'm sorry, the Pramac's on Ducati, right.
No,
Oliveira.
Yamaha.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So that's the same bike essentially, right, as the other Quattro's bike. But the bike I'm looking at was Pedro's bike. If you look at his.
Okay, I'm looking now. Like just how it did.
Yeah. Let me see if I can just do this.
Yeah, the shit.
This is what I'm seeing. Looks insane.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that
looks pretty mean.
It looks mean, but man, look at the arrow everywhere. And then let me show you another picture after this. But look at this. What's this? The ridges here. The ridges here.
Or
it's like a Halloween bike.
Yeah, I saw that last year. That's something I think that's older though. That one.
That's the older one. Yeah, they probably got him on the older one, but this is the newer one. Then if they got Pedro on it.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
No, it's interesting. Just the arrows on all the prototype bikes. I mean, all the MotoGP bikes is they seem pretty fat, pretty wide, and you know, I mean, they go fast, so they look really nice.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm still not keen of the box on the tail section. Obviously, it's completely functional. Right there. Right. That box, on the tail section. I know it's completely functional, but for me, it's just kind of like, really? Are we doing that now? It looks like, I don't know if everybody remembers stunt riding back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And they had a little wheelie bar on the back of their, that's exactly what it looks like. But like I said, I completely understand it's completely functional. It works. Downforce, tail section, stops your wheelie, stops your tail from hitting up in the sky. I get it. Looks stupid.
It looks like a park bench, right? Or it looks like, you know, when you open up a grill, you got the top.
The little handle. Yeah. That's what it looks like. You like to pick the bike up from the rear end.
Don't love it.
I'm like I said, I understand it's completely functional. Just kind of like, it is just, if I ever see my R1, if I buy a 2029 R1 and it has that stupid little thing on there, I'm probably going to bring it back to the dealership. Be like, fix it.
Right.
It looks like a baby car seats.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit crazy. I think, hopefully in 2027, the regulations will change, so there will be less wings and not as wide and stuff like that. And since going to 850cc, I think we may get away. We may get away from all the ridiculousness of how the bikes are looking, just to be able to manage the power, right? Because that's what it comes down to have a functional bike with that much horsepower.
Are they taking away the aero completely?
Not completely, but
reducing it.
Yeah, they're reducing. Yeah,
I think it's like 30%, something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure the exact amount, but I know like the front wing can't be a certain. It has to be a certain width. I don't know what they're gonna do with the tail and stuff like that, but it can't be like what they're doing now, which makes sense. And again, if you're going down, 150 cc. It might be enough to where you don't need it to cap all that downforce with the front wings and stuff like that. And maybe, that might, help with some of the tire issues and the tire pressure issues that these guys are having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
I love Franco's bike. I love that lime green.
The lime green and blue. That's a European color, man. I love those European colors, those off hues. I was trying to get my paint scheme for my bike done a couple years ago, and I did mine's in like the old school Wolverine blue and yellow, and the painter did a really good job of it. And then I actually was mocking up a suit to match it. I want to be MotoGP type of material, and I wanted to get a hue just like Franco Morbidelli.
Yeah,
go Bobby.
Yeah, I love it. No. I was just giving you the one. I was just giving you the one up. I wasn't saying anything. Yeah, I was just giving you the one up. Yeah, I like it. I like the bike. I think it looks. I think it's the cleanest looking one, and I just love the color. Maybe it's the color, because they do say that color there aggravates your brain. That's why you see it.
Aggravates your brain.
Yeah, it aggravates it. That's like this color here, like it aggravates. I love this bike.
Angers you.
Yeah, just like it looks great. I love it.
What about
pass him? Grr, get out my way!
Yeah, I want to pass him. Yeah, it looks great.
What are you guys thinking about the Honda HRC Castrol now? It was going to be hard to say because I'm so used to saying Repsol, but them moving from the orange to the red and blue.
Yeah,
I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of liking it. A little bit of a retro. I don't know if I'm maybe showing my age again. A little bit retro, but I kind of liked it, and I'm still liking it now. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's the original red, right?
Correct.
Honda. It's the original red.
Yeah.
We all know that red has shifted off into Italy, but Honda is the original red, white, and blue, man. That's the original. It's the original red, and it's retro. I didn't really. I love the name Repsol, and I love the orange and black, but I think Honda's going back to basics, and I think that's going to sell more bikes.
Yeah, Repsol and Honda are like peanut butter and jelly, man. They go way back, but it's weird seeing it without it. But I do like this new change that's happening. The color scheme's dope. I really like that. I think they released the newest CBRs look like that too. They got the same color scheme.
Yep.
So it looks good. I like it.
Yep.
I mean, I think they brought that back from World Superbike and stuff from the last couple of years. So it's nice that they did bring it to MotoGP. I think MotoGP might have preferred to keep Repsol as a sponsor, but Castrol can't be too bad.
Yeah, they got money.
Long pockets.
They got money for sure. Let's talk about some MotoAmerica races and some club racing. I don't know if we mentioned this last week. Loudon, the Loudon Classic now is 400,000. The purse for this year in June. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of MotoAmerica guys and international folks coming over to try to get a piece of that money.
That'll be amazing to see just publicity going that way. We need some more American racing going, like where it becomes international. Like Daytona, I feel like it's one of the only ones besides, MotoAmerica is going to have the international grid, maybe one or two guys from there, but Daytona draws a few guys from there that you'll never see. British guys tune in to watch that, BSB guys. So it's always fun to see that. So, we'll see.
$400,000 though, man. That's the biggest purse ever in the U.S.
Yeah, that
wild to think of.
Daytona 200. What? Huh? What?
Yeah.
What did they? I don't know what
What's the cap?
Total for cap for I think the win of the Daytona 200 get 57,000, I believe, but I don't know what the overall is. I mean, it might be close to 100,000, I think, or maybe a little bit over 100,000.
It's over 100, right? I believe it's over 100. Yeah.
So
I'll ask Josh.
But you know, and so with the Loudon Classic, I think there are 4 different races. So depending on, but the Classic pays out the most. But they added some other races. I think there's a twin, Ninja 400s, whatever, small bike. I forget what they call that class. And
Junior Cup.
No, I don't think they call that Junior Cup at Loudon.
Oh no, not going to Loudon.
Yeah. But it is a smaller class, and I think there's one more that they added as well. So, so it'll be interesting to see. I hope to get up there for that. And you know, let's talk about Sean Dillon Kelly signing to Suzuki for this year. Is that a come up for him going to Suzuki versus staying on that BMW?
I don't know about come up, but it's sad to see our boy Posh go. You know, so he's deserving of the seat for sure.
Right.
We'll see about, you know, I don't know if it's a come up, come down, but he's back. Isn't it? He was on there before, right? So it's his roots kind of. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of on a fence with that. I know both the riders, and I know they've both been trying to fight for a good ride and a good seat, and both of them are pretty much deserving. Suzuki was just, you know, trying to make the best out of it. They didn't really get a lot bang for their buck. I believe it was last year, round 2 in Atlanta, when they had a big wreck with the Colombian. I'm just forgetting his name right about now. Him and
Escalante? No.
Maddie Escalante. Yep, Escalante and Maddie got into it really bad, completely by accident. It wasn't not saying anybody's fault, but that kind of shook the team for the rest of the year. And I think we're still kind of getting the bleed off from that to where, you know, they're trying to figure out what's the best chemistry for the team, for everybody to gel and to, you know, get that number 1 plate back on Suzuki again.
Right. And when I say come up in the sense that, like, Sean Dillon Kelly looked nice on the BMW last year. And Superbike, I didn't watch all of the Superbike races, but I was mostly seeing BMWs and Ducatis up front and stuff like that. I wasn't seeing Suzuki, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, is it a come up? Like, because the bike he was on outside, you know, he crashed and was out hurt and stuff like that. But he was still very competitive on that BMW last year.
He was. And I said, Escalante was up there a couple times. He fell off a couple times here and there. Coda, he got second and third, threw it away in turn 1 up on top of the hill. No, that was somebody else in turn 10 in the long double, triple right-hander. Just went wide a little bit. I think it was probably Escalante again, to where, like I said, they had the chance and they just didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to their tooth and nail battle back when they used to have in the super sport racing. Remember that? When Escalante, that made me get into that racing so much more. And I remember that time. It was like, man, they were just tooth and nail. And to now see them being on the same team is going to be pretty interesting. You know, I bet you it's going to be very interesting. That dog is going to come out of both of them for sure.
Yeah, he can't talk about he's on a 636, blah, blah, blah. He should be disqualified. That dynamic, I want to see how that dynamic is. I think they're going to let bygones be bygones and kind of be like, okay, you know, that was the past. Like I said, I've never met SDK face to face, but I know people who know him really, really well. So I think he's pretty much to the point to where it's kind of like, hey, this is my teammate. Then let's either fight for the win or, you know, give me some information. I'll give you some information and let's get to the front. Because, you know, the names up front is definitely what they're trying to beat. They're trying to beat those the Reds and the Blues.
Let me ask you guys a question now. Would you rather move to Suzuki and leave BMW where you could forge your own way? And if you start winning on that bike, Could you bring that bike to the forefront? Because right now it's Ducati, BMW, but it's like I could bring this team.
Yeah, I'll say this:
win on this and bring something and then forge my own way and be the team and be the guy instead of being. Because I may be crazy, but if you're on a BMW or Ducati, it's the bike, right? But if you're on Suzuki and you're winning, you're like, okay, I got some talent, right? Doesn't it feel to be better over there than on the big factory?
I mean, I'll say from just what I saw last year, I would go BMW. If I was him, I would stay with the BMW because the BMW looked really good last year, and he was very competitive. From the years of watching on the Suzuki, it's been struggle. Maybe I know a little bit of backstory on some people that's been signed there as well, where I'm a little reluctant. But I guess it might come down to money. I mean, I assume how much how much money he had to come out of his pocket or stuff like that. Because, like I said, the BMWs look nice last year. So
I mean, I heard him, Sean Dylan Kelly, talking on the Pipe Dreams podcast or one of those guys' podcasts, and it was just like, man, he struggled. Him and his dad, they gave up everything. They sold their house. I think they sold their house and gave up everything, multiple six figures they put into this thing, and sent him out to Europe, and it didn't work out. So he comes back, and by the way, I watched him live in Barcelona. Okay. I watched that ride, and he was there. It was super cool, but sadly wasn't doing good at all, and he was putting a lot of money into that program, right, in Moto2. So to see him have this kind of success is wonderful. It's deserving, and it's a full circle because he seems like a real good family kid. Mm-hmm. I saw a post he just made of him starting a new family business with his dad, car dealership, car flips or something like that. I'm like, There you go. So it's easy for us to say that, but like, I wonder what all went into that. Was it more money? Is it the situation, the program, longer contract, whatever it may be? Props to him though,
Jordan, any comment? Yeah.
I got plenty of comments. You know me. This is my life. We had this conversation. This is my life. I lived this. Sean Dylan Kelly did the same route Josh Herrin did. He won the championship. Well, Josh Herrin won the SuperBike championship, went to Moto2. Sean Dylan Kelly won the Super Sport championship, went to Moto2. But they did the same thing. Josh had to sell a lot of stuff and to fund his trip and his ride out there. People thought, oh, he won a championship, he got a free ride. No, he paid for it. He had to put a lot of money onto there. And even when he got there and was running top 6, he was top 10. The team wasn't happy with his performance. Not to say the team wasn't happy with SDK's performance, but I'm talking about Josh real quick. So then bad blood came around. So switch off to SDK. When SDK was over there, I guess possibly the same thing was going on to where the team was expecting other things to be going on and like, hey, you're running 8th place, maybe getting to 6th, but kind of fading back. What's going on? But he was doing good. And then next thing you know, he's gone.
Right.
And so with all that money he put in there.
Yeah. And do you think that he didn't just get enough time? Because, you look at Jake Dixon coming over from BSB and stuff like that. And it took him 5-6 years before he started being competitive. You look how long Joe Roberts has been in Moto2.
I was just going to go there.
You know what I mean? So it's, did it just not give him enough time, or we're just button heads? Because it just seemed like he exited stage right really
fast. Right. And believe it or not, people don't quite understand. You're good at the US tracks and stuff like that. You go to the UK tracks, you go to the Spain tracks, they're built different. I mean, it's the weather, it's the air, it's the food, whatever it is. They're just built different. Right. And if you're not used to that, then you're running good lap times, but guess what? Johnny Pastrana from 12 years old, who's been on this track since 5 years old, who's doing a half second faster than you, get to speed and get to speed. And it's just like, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Right. I'm trying to get the bike to do this. And then next thing you know, it's kind of like exit stage left.
And you say get to speed, in Moto2, first place to 17th is like a second and a half.
Not even a second and a half. I mean, top 5 was what, 2/10?
Yeah.
It was literally like 2/10. I mean, they were going by micro tenths for the top 3. So it's kind of like, dude, if you're not at that the point, if you are not the point, then
man.
Yeah, you're not even on TV if you're not top 5, top 6. So
right.
You're out of luck.
Yep. Yeah. And like I said, if you're not doing that, people expect, their money to go a long way. They expect that 100K that they put in, even 50K they put in, and you're putting 150K. You sold your house, you moved to Barcelona, you're taking Spanish lessons, but they don't give a rat's patootie. They want to see you top 3 minimum. Fighting for 4th place is semi-acceptable, but they don't give a rat's patootie.
It's so different out there. The culture is it starts so early. I mean, everyone's there. I mean, if you even was sitting in the stands, I'm sure some of you guys might have experienced that. When you go out there, the racing scene just immersive. Like the people next to you are all feeling everything. They're not just there. Like the girlfriends are there. They follow it. They're not just there. So everyone loves this, and it's just a full-on sport. I mean, I've never seen this many women jumping around for MotoGP. That's a cool thing to see. They all flood the track after, which is another. I mean, so many small details make the riders want to perform more. And then the tracks are different. You got GP tracks are totally different from American tracks, which are different than those BSB tracks. Doesn't make any rider better or worse. They're just used to that. Yeah. And so taking a guy like SDK over there and putting all this pressure on him, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 seasons, I would think minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Easily, which is crazy. So let's move into MotoAmerica, Super Sport class. We got Schultz coming back in Moto2, and I forget who's going along. It's
Super Sport. You want to say in Moto2?
Super Sport. I was like, what, Moto2?
Yeah.
Peter Strack must have taken made some more money or something, Mr. Strack Racing.
Moto2 Super Sport, it's different name, pretty much same speed, right?
It'd be crazy if Peter Strack's like, hey, Schultz, this year, let's just skip MotoAmerica. Let's just go to Europe. Let's get a different bike. Let's roll. Schultz like, sure.
Jump on a Kalex chassis. Come on, let's do it.
You'd be like, sure, mate.
But no, there was someone else in SuperBike that's going to Super Sport this year in MotoAmerica alongside Schultz. So there's when these go ahead.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I had to say this. Did y'all hear the clip of Schultz when they asked him on the podcast what he thought a set of tires cost?
No.
Oh my God. He was like, what do you think a set of tires? I don't know, $1,500, $1,000. I'm like, no idea. He's like, 1,500 is what he said. And they were blowing sets. So sorry. I just had to say that. Just too funny.
Well, do you know the price for the Daytona Pirellis?
That's different. But like he's talking
Why
about,
gotta be different?
no, because he's talking about Dunlops. When they bring them on a track and they get like 6 sets of Dunlops, they're like $450.
Yeah.
Well, each, about 450. Right,
that's it, not 1,500.
No.
He's got special ones.
He doesn't know. No, what I'm saying is the mindset of someone that's been in a factory seat for that long has no clue of what it even costs.
Right. Well, crazy. But they may be a markup too. You know what I'm saying? As I was going to say, maybe he got the Mike Tyson thing when you're getting overcharged for towels. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. No, we all go get the same tires from the MotoAmerica thing. I go take my buddy's tires to the same Dunlop tent that Schultz has to go to. It's all under that specific thing, right? So legally.
Legally.
Allegedly. Exactly.
Allegedly.
So do you? I think also. PJ Jacobson's staying in Moto Super Sport, right?
PJ, yes.
Yeah, he's with Kayla still, right?
Yeah. So, what do you guys think? How they gonna do this year? Or is it Schultz again?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be a Schultz show. If not, it's going to be a PJ and Schultz show because that's pretty much what it's going to really be. Kayla, not to say that she's not on the tip of the spear, but I think she'll just be a 10th off. And then, she has a lot of respect for a lot of the guys up there. She's raced with PJ. She's raced with, she's raced with Schultz now. A couple other people she's raced with. That I know of. So, I mean, she knows if she can muscle her way in, she will. She's a very clean passer. She doesn't like to play dirty, nothing like that. If she's got the pass, she'll attempt it. But if she doesn't have it, she'll just kind of just back off and then just be like, okay, you got it. I'll find someplace else. So, that's the way she likes to ride. But, you got some other guys in there. Smith. That can come up. That can definitely, shake things up a little bit. I'm waiting for him to show his face once in a while. I believe he got a podium once or twice. So yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be a little bit of a fight. Hopefully, a little bit more than it was last year.
Yeah, Kayla, definitely, she's exactly where she needs to be. Probably a year or two ahead of schedule, I would say, because she's young, talented, and she's mixing it up with the best of the best in America. Right. So, arguably the world. So, we could definitely see her going places. And I'm not too, I don't have too high of expectations for her, right? It's more PJ I'm thinking of and seeing if he can battle it out with Schultz. So I'm really excited for them to battle it out. That's going to be as exciting for me as the Superbike class for me.
And I don't know her. I've only followed her on MotoAmerica stuff and that kind of thing, and some interviews that she's done and stuff like that. But and I think every rider may feel this way, but it sounds like she's ready to be up front. But just hearing you talk, Cheetah, saying that she's probably a couple of years away. I believe she's 19.
18, 19.
Not
17 was
she may be 18 if that,
Yeah. So she's still relatively, young for a person getting into motorcycle racing at that level, right? I mean, I know we see, Pedro Acosta and some of these young guys that come out and really do really well right out the gate. But this is her. Is this her second season in
second season on Ducati? She did this her third season in MotoAmerica, I think, because she did with. Not Graves, but who was it? It was
Titus.
Them and Mesa the first season. Before that, she was in World Super Sport or something like the junior.
No, she was in Twins. She was in Twins on a Yamaha.
No, she spent a little bit in Europe on some classes. She did great.
Yeah. No, she did the Ninja 400s or the Yamaha R3s. But in 2022, she was in the Twin Cup. And I think towards the end of Twin Cup, Yamaha let her race the Kawi, right?
Right.
And then I think she lost her seat after that for whatever reason. And then she signed to the Ducati for last year.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't realize is that she went over to Europe and she was trying to do double duty. So whenever she wasn't riding there, she was riding here in the US. So she was literally going back and forth and catching whatever train she could and trying to see what was going to churn up. I don't know, churn up money or churn up championships, but she was really diving in, or I'd say burning the wick at both ends for a short period of time. And even her dad was kind of like, we were beat because we were literally just jet lagging back and forth from Europe championships. She did the R7 when they first came for the testing for the championship. She helped out with that. And then, like I said, flew back over to the States. So she was really going back and forth for a while before she actually settled into the MotoAmerica round to where she was able to thrive. And I think that's where she got the 400 ride with Altus Motorsports. And then she kind of settled in with that.
I remember she came from right when she'd come from the Europe thing. I got a tow from her at Jennings. She was like her first few times on a super sport bike, and she was already hitting like 17, 16, 17s that day, and I was hitting like 20s. So she's already 3-4 seconds faster than me right there. That's her home track, but first few times on a super sport, already caught up to speed. And I know her and PJ go to that track a lot together now, so they're working together. That's like her mentor. So super excited for them.
Now, do you think she should go over to the WCR? Women's circuit racing?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. She's keep thugging it out with the men.
Why you think that, Cheetah?
I think she can learn. I don't want to be sexist, but she can learn a lot with the boys right now. She's in the right place.
I've heard some people say it's better for women to learn from other women in racing than to listen to guys. So.
Who said that? Well, I don't know about listening to guys, but just looking at it, like I want
to hear Bobby's take on this one.
Yeah, I think she has more to learn from just the guy she's getting beaten by currently.
I see what you're saying. I see. So what you're saying is the talent isn't there in the WCR to challenge, probably to challenge her.
She'll be teaching more than she'll be learning.
I can see that. I agree. Because last year I think there was maybe 4 women that were really fast, and the rest kind of felt, were probably like 5 to 10 seconds slower. I think that's going to change, obviously, as things as they race more and these women go back to their country and now they know what to expect on the world stage and stuff like that.
There's a really cute video of her when she was 4 or 5 years old, and they're like, "What do you like about riding with the boys?" Like, "I like beating them," or something like that. Like, she's just always been a bully to boys she raised with. So she needs to be there. She needs to be there.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, but so the thing is this though: how far can she go in the sense that like she's gonna, who. If she wanted to go to World Superbike or MotoGP or the MotoGP paddock, like whose seat would she possibly could take? You know what I'm saying? At that level to where it's just kind of like how much further can she go? Do you guys see her in the Superbike on a Superbike?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's a lot better to sit on the bench at Alabama than to start at Roxbury Community College. No disrespect to RCC. But if she's with the men and getting pounded on, I think that's going to make her a better rider than fool around with the women.
Okay.
Better words there, but okay.
I know. It's fine. We're talking about racing.
Right. Thank you, Drew.
I respect the thuggery. I respect it.
Yeah. Like it's like my little daughter, right? She's aggressive because she's getting beat up by her older brother.
Yeah.
Right. So now when she goes with the girls, she's gonna have a little bit more grime to her, right?
Yeah.
Not to say that women racing is not competitive, but sometimes the fastest women, there isn't other women that can compete with her. So then it becomes boring. So if you put her in with the men and she's always slow and getting killed every week, she's going to grind harder and she's going to make her a better racer. She's going to give her more to achieve.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, right, strength is involved in riding. But remember we talked about this, Cheetah? Where's your mind at?
Yeah.
Right? Where's your mind? How sharp is your mind? Let's go and get it.
I've seen Kayla race numerous times. I've seen her come up in the WERA, CCS, USGPRU, so forth and so on, to where I've seen her race on, even at VIR, she was on a little 90. I think it was maybe like an 80, Kawasaki 80, and passing by grown men on R1s. And maybe semi-built, probably not fully built, but semi-built R1s. And her little butt was just ponytail in the wind and going right past them. So, even to this day, to where, like I said, she's battling with the big boys, like you said, she may not be stomping on them, but she's definitely giving them a run for their money and definitely letting them know, hey, I'm here. I can compete with you. And if I'm not winning, I'm going to be battling with you elbow to elbow.
And I think that's great for women, right? I think that's great. I mean, that no fear.
Right. Well,
She's a dog. Her, she's up here, dog.
Right.
Mine's as a dog.
I mean, I also think that, having that series for women is really great because that's going to give more access. The downside, they're just starting it. I mean, I believe in probably 3 to 5 years, it's going to be really dope. You know what I mean? I think it's just because it's just so soon.
I think if they do something like that, and like Bobby said, if they kind of bring her, even though she's young or younger than the majority of that paddock, like I said, the first year, everybody in there was at least I think the youngest rider in there was in her late 20s.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Everybody else was in their 30s.
But you have to do that, though. You know that, right? Because they're the pioneers. You guys shout them out. I think they just kind of like, we shouting you out. But I'm pretty sure a lot of Kayla's running around this world, killing it.
And that's what I'm getting at. If they at least now, okay, we shaking off some cobwebs. Now let's get a couple of young Thundercats and young Tigresses in there and mix it up with them, and then potentially.
I don't think there's a lot of Kaylas running around though, Rex.
There's a couple.
No. There's not a lot. There's not a lot. I think
Australia has a good number of them.
Kayla was one of one in the U.S. She's one of one.
Well, I mean, if
in the U.S.,
you look at
but that's
what is it?
U.S. Right? Take another 5 or 10, and that's that.
I mean, you look at, is it Eladrea? I mean, she's coming, right?
Yeah,
and she's fast. She's 14. So no, I think there's a bunch. I mean, there's a bunch.
They gotta prove themselves. Look, what I'll say is this: Kayla still is a couple years in advance. She's got a couple years left, but and I know that graph comes to a point where you got to start proving yourself quick and now, fast and urgent and often.
Right.
And if she can't do that,
Yeah. When I say there's a lot, meaning they might not have the access or the opportunities to ride, but doesn't mean they don't believe they have the skill set. Sure. That's what I'm saying. In the sense that, like, there's a lot of competitive women riding dirt bikes and everything and all that stuff. Obviously, it takes money to get on the stage and do what they do. So I do think there's a lot more women riding and racing today than ever before.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think you're tying it back into the original concept of the women's league. Yeah, for sure. That could definitely be a great thing for women. Agreed.
Yeah, we even talked about the money
gamifying of it. Sorry, I would love to see some gamifying of racing. Y'all ever thought about like making it a little more gamified, like you bring in a rider from here, like they do then in the UFC. We've talked about this, right? I think we talked about one of the early episodes, like how they used to do in the UFC. They bring a karate guy versus a jiu-jitsu guy, and they'd let them fight. Or Brazil versus Japan, and they'd bring each other and fight. Like, well, imagine if we saw that just for a few 4-lap, 8-lap races in between the major leagues going on, like in between.
Yeah. No, listen. I think the WCR should be at every round that World Superbike is, because like the races that I watch, I mean, like I was excited, and the other thing is they're all on the same bike, right? And they got a package. I don't know what it's going to be this year, but last year it was $25,000. So it's a lot, like, to come out of that money, come out of $25,000 is a lot easier to go racing than 150, 200 or whatever. Some of these guys got to come out with and stuff like that. So I think so. I think if they added more rounds, but I think once you watch it, because if you turn it on a race and you see WCR and you don't know what the acronym means, you don't know they're women until the announcers start calling out their names and stuff like that. You don't know who it is and stuff like that. And if they're rubbing elbows and paint and stuff like that, like watching Ana Carrasca and Maria Herrera and I forget the other Spanish woman's name. It was fun racing to watch.
I agree.
They're going to need a heck of a promotions team to make sure it gets to all the right outlets, because they will eat that up and it gets more views, and we need more. I think just in general, even just women come looking at the sport, man, I'll be damned if the day don't come where some ladies watching, Kayla or some of these girls in WCR, and they're like, babe, let's go watch racing. Let's go watch racing to their man. That would be a different switch.
That'd be
I'd love
great.
to see that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that might happen. My youngest daughter might do that because she could tell you about Marquez and all these riders and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That'd be cool.
you know, and I think, you know, we're at the age, you know, I'd love to get a woman on the show, so it's not just guys talking about women on the show at the moment. But I think it's going to come to a point where it's you know, it's going to be more, I don't want to say accepted is the right word, but it's already there. There are so many women that's already, you know, you see the different sports, you see what's going on with basketball right now. You see there's a women's hockey league in the US right now and stuff like that. And it's not, I think, you know, go back to marketing, right? I think it's how it's marketed, because if it's just marketed as entertainment, and that's it, I think people are just going to go watch the sport. I don't think you're going to worry about whether if it's a woman or a man, unless they can't fight, if it's boxing or MMA, or they can't play ball, or they can't ride. Then it's boring. But if they can ride and they got skills, you're not going to be like, I don't care.
I would see the women racing surpassing all other female sports. Because it's like, we don't like watching women's basketball because they're not all dunking from the 3-point line and doing crazy trick shots. The ball is smaller and all of this. Listen, 300, 400, 600 cc's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no governing on women's racing like there are in other women's sports. Like I do coach women's lacrosse. There's no pocket. You can't hit above the head. There's a halo. They use a yellow ball instead of a white ball because the yellow ball is easier to see. And I think that handicaps women's sports, right? But with racing is just racing.
Yeah. There's no physicality.
Yeah, it's just racing.
Mm-hmm.
Like women's basketball, the ball's smaller and they can't dunk, and it's a disaster.
There'll never be that aspect of physicality, and
Right.
I don't think we'll ever see an article saying, "Oh, the man was born with an XX chromosome and he entered the men's racing league," and all. None of that will ever happen because that's unisex in this thing, right? It's all fair game. You don't need as much physicality to ride just as good as the guys.
Get a chance to share that screen for me if you can, Rex, real quick.
Gotcha.
This is a picture of my daughter with Kayla just literally less than 2 years ago, to where let me turn this back. I got it on the
Jeff
screen.
May, right?
But he had obviously, Jeff May and my daughter. And this is Kayla when she was with Altus. And so
That's cool.
Just want to show that really quick. If we really put this together and really have our kids, girls or boys, come together and show them that, hey, this can be possible for you too, then there's no limit to what the women can do, not just compared to the men, compared to one another. And if, like I said, put them on that stage, whether it be an even platform or maybe, like I said, maybe some are a little bit better than others. Okay, let's try to keep it even to make it a fun race so that, you know, I don't want to say sandbag or nothing like that, but, you know, keep it competitive. Or if not, like I said, just let them go. Yeah. Hey, if you're fast, you're fast. If you're not, like Bobby says, the cream will rise to the top. And then we'll see who really has the cojones, who really has the skill set to really be a part of the elite women's team that can promote and do all the things that Cheetah was saying that FIM wants to do. Right. Help the women promote sports in general, not just the motorcycle racing. But, you know, I'm biased. I think we're all biased in promoting our sport that we love. And I think that would definitely be a good stepping stone for us to do that.
Right. I will say this. Some people we're biased in the sense that we love our sport and we want to promote it. But there are definitely some guys that don't want women on the track. Don't want women on the basketball court. Don't want women in a lot of places. I will say it's older guys, but they may be some young guys. And that happened. I had one experience on a tennis court where my daughter's taking a tennis lesson. And this older guy was talking to me. He was in his 80s, right? And then he's but his mindset is different. And he was saying what I would say some ignorant things to the point where I had to walk away from him because it was a little bit crazy and stuff like that. But I still think there's a lot of generations or folks that still they'll say it around their friends, or they may say when they think that everybody's on the same side or something like that. And so there is an uphill battle. I think all of us here are sitting here saying we love watching women racing and stuff like that, but I don't know if we are the majority. Well, I know we're not the majority.
I mean, right.
In one aspect, yeah, we're not the majority in one aspect.
So you know what I mean. As
misery loves company.
How do we get around that?
We do what we're doing now, podcasting, talking about it, having conversations, having think tanks, talking with promoters and talking with the racing organizations. Daniela from MotoAmerica, she does a lot of things with getting women out in different, not just job markets, but into different places. I can't remember the young, I'm calling her a young lady, but she's the owner of Weira. Me and her talked a couple times, and she actually put a women's race together that's just women's. That's it. No age bracket, no nothing. Women's, go. And, more of that, to help promote that spear that I was talking about and getting them even with the guys, if not even surpass them, to where, they have at least a chance to promote themselves. And like I said, just doing what we're doing right about now. And I mean, sky's the limit after that.
Mm-hmm. I meant more guys that don't. How do we affect? Change the mindset of guys that don't feel like women should be doing what they're doing, or
Agreed.
other than just waiting for them to age out. For a better word.
You're talking about what can we do about it?
I'm down to kick them out.
Change their mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I know very well-known. I don't want to get specified, but just say in the mechanic world of motorcycling, very well-known guy that doesn't like the fact that, Kayla, like, for example, is racing. They're like, why? I'm like, well, I like the fact that it's a merit-based process. It's not about what you have under your clothes. It's simply about, or how much testosterone, estrogen. It's just merit-based. It's simply how good are you at your job? Are you deserving? And clearly she is. When you put her in the top with the same bikes, she's up there in top 10 easily every time. And she's only learning. And so I don't like that idea.
By the way, she's very young.
Well, here's the thing. When you ask how can we convince those people, I don't know. That's up to them, right? Half of them will be maybe on the fence, so maybe they can be convinced. But the other half, maybe they're so stubborn, they'll until their granddaughter decides to race, they'll probably never, come to the other side.
Kick them out.
Yeah. I think it's our job, the people that do like it, though, to share stories whenever we see something. Kayla just got signed to this person, this thing, right? We can keep sharing. And not just for women, but just for motorcycle journeying, the stuff you do, the stuff we like to share. I need to get back on my sharing because, whether you know it or not, we're all kind of sort of influential in the motorcycle community. I can't tell you how many people ask me about videos and coaching tips and specific tracks. They watch this stuff. When I share these, they put fire emojis on some of those. And I'm like, okay, so they're seeing this based on, so our voice spreads, whether you know it or not. It's people like this that's going to make that more popular in my eyes. And this is a free part. We can do what we can do. Everything else is organic. It's money related, business, all that, right?
We got to do our part.
Yeah,
we got to do our part.
And we're doing it.
Yeah.
Starts with us. Change starts with right now. Change starts with us.
For sure.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Hold on a second. Can I bring up two illegal things I might get thrown off the show after this.
Allegedly.
No, this is definitely contraband.
Okay.
This. I shouldn't even say this, but I'm gonna say it. I have to say it. What did you guys think about DJ Mustard's Vance and leather jacket on stage with Kendrick Lamar?
Oh yeah.
I know this. I dying easy, but Vance and that's out here in Fall River.
Dude, they're crazy. They're like, I saw Alpine Star has a collab with that designer Balenciaga, and they're selling a leather jacket, just like a normal $1,000 jacket, for $10,500. Same thing, and it says Alpine Stars on it. That's the weird thing.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't know.
Meaning that I think it's good for Vanson. I think it's good to have because I mean, we going back. I mean, I remember seeing Vance jackets way back when.
70s.
Yeah. So 70s. I'm thinking more 80s, 90s when motorcycle riding around the world. I mean, riding around in Boston and stuff like that. And a lot of guys are rocking that. So seeing that, and I mean, for Vanson to survive, because they were struggling for a bit. Yeah, they were struggling for a bit and stuff like that. So, to see that on the Super Bowl, I hope, they sell out everything, because that's what they need. And it's good for the community. As far as who's rocking it, I have no comment on that.
And I got one more illegal thing.
Got one more.
Wait, why is this illegal?
Because
he's from the UK.
What do you guys think about the Buell 1199? What do you guys think about that thing?
I haven't seen that one.
The redesign of it, talking about the new one.
Yeah, Hammerhead.
I kind of like it. I'm digging it a little bit. It's kind of, I don't know what Cheetah to say. He's probably looking up right about now. I got a glimpse of it because it's on my little feed. So my little motorcycle feed on my phone. So I got a chance to look at it real quick, and it's kind of like I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of got to grow on me just a little bit more, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I kind of like the new and old that they kind of mixed up a little bit. I'm waiting for some new color designs. That's what I don't like. I don't like the color design they have on it.
I saw the video. Sorry, Rex. I saw the video. I was watching the video, and I was like, that video does not look like a Ducati video with the Ducati guy packing it in, and he's out here and out here. The Buell guy's like, I mean, but it's an American V twin. Come on, let's go.
I will say this. I think Buell got some of these folks deleting they're on thousands deleting one of their rotors. I think it's because of Buell, because they only run one rotor up front. And it's either that or the Ninja 400s or the small bikes. But
I told you it was a combination retro. I told you, so you got to look at it.
I'm gonna hit him with that Denzel Gladiator.
Oh, come on, that's American horsepower right there.
Single rotor, the stunner is gonna be excited.
Yeah, man, that's
drag races. I mean, my bad.
It's I don't remember what year they were out when and I knew they went away for a bit because they ran into money issues and stuff like that. And it's always cool when in this case the US can make a sport bike, because we really. I mean, everybody is Japanese or Europe, right? And so, to have a bike in that class, I mean, we'd love to have more bikes that are super bikes in the US, right? It's cool. It's cool to see, and hopefully, it's very expensive to make bikes these days, and I don't think many bikes get made in the U.S. even if it had a U.S. name. So
we're still getting metals from Mexico and China anyway. It doesn't matter. Made in the U.S., but the metals and everything still coming from Mexico and China and Japan or whatever. So it doesn't matter.
Like Harley
I think we should save this topic for a next one, but. How does the braking side of it? How does one rotor still work with? Did they test it? I'm sure they have backup data, and we'll save it for next time. But
I'm sure they must, and they got to be doing something with the front forks,
front chassis,
and which one is compressing and which one is rebounding or something weird like that, right? Because it has to pull to one. It has to pull to one side in theory,
right?
Yeah. They call it the hammerhead. How's it supposed to bite if it ain't got 2 sets of rotors? You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Hey, listen, man, it's 102 foot-pounds of torque.
It needs something to stop that.
There's a parachute on the back, man.
The torque gets through the wall.
Maybe Buell will let me know so I can test it out in the streets of Atlanta.
There you go.
We need 4 of them.
Let's do it, man. Hey guys.
Well, you need to get some snow that's not going to be hitting you every other week right about now, Bobby.
I know.
Hey, listen, man. I'll say this. I might take snow hitting me over these bugs down here. So I got to clean my vest and my visor and my bike too much from bugs, dude.
Mr. Ducati, triple Ducati over here. I want to hear his nonsense.
It is nonsense. I got to clean my own bike still. It's unheard of.
You're getting hit by lizards. You're not getting hit by bugs. Getting hit
Flying lizards. Remember that? And flying roaches, too. He got flying roaches down there.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for the snakes because they jump.
Oh, listen,
they do.
I came out the house the other day, and there was at least, it might have been like 3.5, 4 foot snake outside. So, yeah. No,
would you rather a snake or an alligator? Now I'm talking Florida stuff now.
Alligator you can eat.
You can eat snake.
You can eat snake too, yeah. You just need a shotgun.
Bro, could you imagine you're going like 100 miles an hour and you're like, oh, I see there's a tar snake over there. And as you're speeding, it's an alligator that just ain't crossing the road. Like, God dang it, what do? That's Florida, man.
Yeah.
Knocks you over, then he eats you.
Nah. They're gonna get there. They're gonna get there. You know, they haven't crossed the highway yet, but I'm pretty sure they are crossing the roads for sure. As the snakes are as well. So it's a little different out here. But hey, guys, shout out your sponsors, man, and tell people how they can find you.
I go first. Milton Cookies. Valentine's Day is here. milkedandcookies.com. Promo code Bobby Shakes. Get yourself some chocolate. We got Chinese chocolate, Indian chocolate, UK chocolate, and sweets.
Is that a 112 song remix?
Almost. Should have used the reverb.
Where's my reverb?
What's the background singer?
Yeah, there it is. There's a reverb. That's not the reverb, but what it is. I don't know what it is.
That doesn't sound like 112, but you know.
That's 100 foot-pounds of torque. Hammerhead. 185 horsepower.
But one rotor. Say that. Same.
But one rotor.
Oh my goodness.
All right, guys. It's Cheetah740 Instagram and YouTube. Y'all can find me there. No sponsors. Well, we got some sponsors actually. New season coming up. So we got KWS Motorsports. We got Pirelli. And we got Affordable Moto. Check them out in Dalton, Georgia, if you'll need a good, affordable mechanic in Georgia. That's it.
That's what's up.
And y'all know me, Jordan Long Unlimited, all access. I had to change my Twitter X account to MR_long_23 at twitter.com. Sponsors right about now. My main sponsor, 64 Degrees. Please go check them out, 64degrees.com. You get apparel, custom apparel, shirts, Under Armour, weather gear, base layer, anything you need for your comfortability, breathability, and riding style. Make sure you check them out, 64degrees.com.
64 degrees happens to be the weather that Mr. Rex is also taking for granted.
Yes.
No, 74. He's almost in 84 degrees right about now.
Listen, man, it's too cold below 72 degrees, man. I don't know how you guys do it. Go to Workbench Technology for all your IT needs. Workbenchtech.com. Go to freedomcyclesnh.com. Mention Be Forever Cool and get some discounts. Whether you want a Ducati, whether you want a Honda, Kawasaki. They got 6 different bikes manufacturers. KTM, they got all the brands, even Royal Enfield. Also, they have a huge parts department as well. So if you need parts for any of your bikes, any type of bike, just give them a shout as well. Freedom Cycle, NH, and the last one, HY Boston or HY Clothing. Just go to the store at beforevercool.com and get your latest merch. And that's about it, guys. Until next week. We get racing next weekend coming up, man. So I am definitely looking forward to that.
Oh, who's going to crash first?
Wow. All of them.
They ain't going to crash first. Who's going to crash first?
One person's going to have an oil spill, and then they're going to take out the lot.
I'm putting out Morbidelli first.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Not Morbidelli.
His bike's yellow.
He got the best chance on the grid. So,
I think so.
Peace.
Peace. Love you guys.